Operations room, are you receiving?
Operations room here. Receiving loud and clear, over.
Operations room, you're clear to go. Go, go, go.
Operations room here. Roger, Wilco. All understood. Okay, chaps, get your sprue out and get your clippers at the ready. Okay, Johnny, let's go. Tally-ho, tally-ho. Morning. How are we all doing? It's Sunday. And yeah, it's time for another bit of fun with the Helldiver. So I've not overly advertised it, so I'm not sure if anyone's going to join or what. So apologize for the sporadic way it's all coming about. It's not intentional. Work and personal life happens, doesn't it? So hey ho. So we're just going to give it a couple of minutes, see who joins us as usual. We've got White Glove Models is here saying, morning, James. Hope you're well. Yeah, I'm well, mate. Thank you. I'm all good. Bit stressed at the moment, but yeah, all good. How about yourself? What are you working on? Got anything on the bench? Let me know. Stefan's there saying, good morning, sir. How are you? I'm good. Yourself? I hope you're well. Not spoke to you for ages. I thought you'd be busy this weekend. There's a very well-known show that I really wanted to be at this year in Europe, and I'm not there, obviously. Got to be honest, I'm getting very, very jealous of seeing all the pictures coming up, the socializing and the models and everything else. So if you didn't know, over in Eindhoven is the World Expo that was delayed from COVID and all that sort of stuff. So I was booked to go. Everything was booked and paid for, and unfortunately, because of COVID, that had all be cancelled. And then life has got in the way, and yeah, not gone. I'm gutted, so gutted. But anyway, enough of that. Tell me what you're doing today, what you got on the bench, what you hopefully be doing later on. They went to it yesterday. It was great, but very busy. Yeah, it looked really, really busy as well, Stefan, to be honest. Yeah. This year's just not been very kind to me, so I've had to scale back on so much stuff. And unfortunately, that was one of them. Even though realistically, the hotel was booked, but then I think it was August or something like that. Last year, they sent me a message saying they were refunding the money because they were no longer taking guests in the manner in which they had been in the past. So they were looking for long-term lets. So yeah, that caused a bit of a problem. But anyway, that's fine. White Glove Model says, all good, thank you. Angora Models Battleship Bismarck is on the bench at the moment. Yes. I'm trying to convince myself to leave the hull as it is and not do anything crazy like trying to fill in all the seams. You regret it. Throw everything at it. I would. I wouldn't do that kit to start with, but yeah, no. Well, I can't say that. I have got a Bismarck upstairs somewhere. One day. So, Stefan, any deals? Any purchases yesterday at the World Expo? Was there something you just couldn't resist? I know RP Models are there, and they've announced a new figure, a Special Forces figure, I think it is, with a dog. Oh, it looks cracking. RP Models are nuts, without a doubt. So, anyway, enough of my ugly mug. Let's change over to the bench. I can bring you up to speed to where we are. So there you go. White Glove Model says, I do say it would have been better just buying the Trumpier kit. Yeah, I think, in fairness, I think you were partly lulled into that by someone else. But there you go. Anyway, a little bit of coffee while it's hot. So where am I up to so far with this build? To cast your mind back to a couple of weeks ago, we got to the point with our fuselage that we've put everything in. Well, not everything, but most of the main components into our fuselage now, as you can see. Hopefully you can see that. Let me zoom in a little bit, shall we? There we go. So you can see the dashboard, instrument panels all in, everything like that. We've got our detail and wiring in the back here, all sorted, like so. We've got our front section all sorted. I've got to do a little bit more to these little boxes here. Not a great deal, but just a little bit of dry brushing. And that's pretty much ready to go for the next bit to go onto the side. So that's our interior. We have the other side all painted, ready to go. So that's that. So if you cast your mind back as well, we are doing the Infinity Models folding wing section. Now, obviously, oh no, I did. So this is how it comes. It comes in two parts. He says, getting it out. Oh, nice to be prepared, isn't it? So yeah, this is resin printed. As you can see, the detail is absolutely wonderful on there. This is the side that will be attached to the fuselage, and this will be the bit that obviously folds up. So I've taken one off, and we have done the interior part where our wheel bay will be, and we've added the extra detail in. As you can see, looks awesome. Although I've still got some stuff to do, which I'm going to do some of that today. Not a great deal. It's going to be difficult to show you, if I'm honest, but I'm going to give that a go anyway. So yeah, so the one thing with this kit in which I was advised with was that this main frame, main bar that goes through the fuselage, don't put it in where it says to put it in on the instructions. So for example, if I get the instructions, so as you can see here, he says not whiting out too much. The bar goes behind the wall of the back of the cockpit. That's incorrect. It actually goes in the front. Now, when I was told, the person that made it had scrapped it and made his own one, and I was desperate not to do that because I didn't want to have to build this bit. So what I did was I chose the decision to put everything in. Now, obviously, that's the top part of the wing. So this is the undercarriage bay. Now, these parts go in quite well, go to where they need to go, but they are a little bit high, so there is a little bit of fettling you have to do with it as you go along. And then obviously to get this part in, if I show you on this piece, what we've done is along here on this edge, it's around about 2 mil in thickness, this edge, but you've got to sand that down to 0.4 mil. So I used partly used a Dremel to take it back, and then sanding pads. Took a little while, but you can get it, and you don't lose too much rigidity in it either, which was what I was scared at. So yeah, so that's what I did. I did all that, and then obviously I've stuck this bit in on the other piece. So the reason I've done it this way is I wanted to get all this right. I want to obviously do a little bit of effects and bits and pieces in there as well, which I haven't done yet. And then what I'll do is it will then go on to the fuselage. Have I got the right side? No, I haven't. He says without trying to drop everything because it's looking like I'm going to drop something. So yeah, so basically it's going to go in there like that. And then we're going to, you have to glue the wing into place. So there may be a little bit of fettling to be done because obviously you can see it's not sitting particularly brilliantly at the moment. There are some gaps, but that's just a little bit of play that needs to be done there. And then what I'll do is I'll glue that into place. And then I'll stick the other side of the fuselage on. And then the second half of the wing I'll put on once the second fuselage is in place, obviously. So it's a little bit cack-handed. It's not how you have to do it on the instructions, but it was the way in which I felt comfortable enough to do how to do it. So yeah, the one thing I'm finding with this kit, the Infinity Models kit, is read the instructions, read the instructions, read the instructions, and then potentially do something completely different. Because I'm not fully certain how you're meant to achieve this. So what it actually says in the instructions is to glue this in place and these wing sections onto the fuselage and then do all this bit. Excuse me, sorry. Which is a right faff. But yeah, so that's why I chose to do it that way. So that's that. Let's just have a quick look at the chat. Miranda sent me some pictures. I'll look at those later. Thank you, Miranda. There you go. Miranda's just sent her a message with what I bought. So I will look at that later. He says, I'm going to have a quick nosy now, if I can. Oh, let me see. Oh, so he bought himself a nice razor saw, and he bought himself some Hysterex base, I think that looks like, and a figure as well. Nice, Stefan. Looks good. Excellent. Budget Modulator is there saying, hi, buddy. Sorry about earlier. Yeah, don't worry about that. It's fine. No problem. Yeah, you don't need to worry about that. It's fine. Yeah, so obviously I was with the Models for Heroes guys earlier. So anyway, what we're going to do today, let me have a quick sup of my cup of coffee. 9 people watching. Not everyone said hello, so if you're watching, please say hello. Tell us what's on the bench, what you're up to. Don't be shy. We don't bite. Yeah, so the plan day is I'm going to glue a few bits and pieces in here, which are here, potentially. I might do that. But what I'm actually going to be doing is I'm going to be doing the exhaust. So as you recall, we did the engine. We've wired all the engine up. And he says with a pointy bit. So these bits here, these exhausts, are not silver, obviously, because they are going to be incredibly hot. So they're going to be all textured and all that sort of stuff. So I've painted them silver to start with on there. And then what I thought was, oh, I know, I'm going to use some pigments. So the outer exhausts, the bits that you can see outside on the fuselage, I've done the actual exhausts themselves. And I thought what I'll do is, if you remember, we did this heat staining on this piece here. I'll bring this in a little bit deeper. A bit deeper. So yeah, as you can remember, we did this heat staining on this bit of sprue. We just spent a little bit of sprue over, did a bit of heat staining. Wanted to check to see whether I could do it. I showed it to you on the last episode, actually. So we're going to go to the next stage now with that. Let me move these bits out of the way because we're going to use some pigments. I don't want this covered in pigment, so move that out of the way. I'm not probably going to do the engine live, but what we're going to do is I'm going to experiment with this live with you now, and then if I'm happy with what I'm doing, we're going to do these as well, get those done, and then the engines I will sort out at a later date off camera. Let me just put that there out of the way. So what we're going to need for this is this. What I'm going to do is just turn that white balance down a little bit because that's going to blow everybody's mind otherwise. Go back to auto. I think that is quite strong, isn't it, the white? I'll tell you what we do. Give me 2 seconds. It just so happens I have something else I can use, which might be easier on the eye. Hopefully. Yeah, that's a little bit better, isn't it? A little bit. Now, I know you're going to be surprised. I did all this. Just want to bring that up a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so what we're going to use for this is I've got a couple of these little thingies. We're going to put a little bit of stuff I'm going to use for pigment fix in there. Now, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to use some alcohol. Keep it nice and simple. And then what we're going to do is use little bits of pigment, different colours. So what I've got here is I've got a range of colours. I've got a couple of rust colours, which is a light rust and a dark rust. These are from Pinnacle Model supplies. Unfortunately, I don't think there are any more, which is a real shame because they were great. Some industrial dust, some quite dark grey, a little bit lighter grey, which is a dark ash, and then we've got some exhaust black. So we're going to start off with the industrial dust grey. Now, being super prepared that I'm not, I've just realised I haven't got everything ready. So no. Bear with me, chappies. I've got some sponges, some sponge buds, they call them. A couple of those, got a brush, and we're up and running. So I'm just going to double check on the chat, make sure we're up to speed. Rob is another person there saying hi, morning. Tamia, 132nd Tamia, F16 is on his bench. Lovely. Cool. Right, okay, so let's crack on with this a little bit. Now, obviously, pigments, something to be wary of with pigments is they will make an absolute mess. So be careful. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get my brush. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to liberally put a little bit of what we're going to use to fix the pigment on there, like so. And then what I'm going to do is just going to use the bud. I'm going to get a little bit of the powder onto it and literally just tip it over it like so. Now, if you use the lid, what you don't use, you won't lose. Now we've got some nice texture going on there. You might not be able to see it. I'm just going to put a little bit more of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to another little tool I've got. He says, which one am I going to use? Not on that. Just realise you're not really seeing what I'm doing, are you? Sorry. Carl's not with me today. He's at work. So it's going to be a little bit interesting for me. See how we can get on with this. So going to take the lid away for a second. And what we're going to do is I've got a dropper bottle with a little bit of alcohol in there. And all I'm going to do is just very gently pop that on there like that. Let's see if we can come in a little bit closer still. And then what we'll do is we're just going to repeat the process. Oh, get that lid on there. So, as I said, I am experimenting live with you right now. Right, so hopefully you can see we've got a little bit of a build up there. It's going to take a little while. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just stop with the grey for a second. And I'll introduce the dark rust colour. And we're going to literally do the same things we just did. So using the brush. Very, very, very gently. He says. And then what we'll do is we get a different bud. Bring this up. Put a little bit of pigment fixer on here. Now clearly it would have been advisable to do this without the bits being on the engine. It's a bit too late now for me. So it's going to be a little bit different technique. That's why I'm not going to do it live when I do the engine. So as you can see, hopefully, some nice texture on there from the pigments. Quite happy with that. But what I want to do, again, introduce a third colour, he says. Put that down. And this one is a much lighter rust colour, as you can tell. I've been a little heavy-handed with that. but that's all right. Oh, there we go. It's building up. As you can see, that's the side before. And there we're getting a nice bit of texture on there. And colour difference as well. So what I want to do, I'm going to move this to one side. And I'm just going to bring in the dark black exhaust. So as you can see, what I'm doing is I'm using the pigments from a height, just dropping what I'm not using into the lid, so they can all go back. Then nothing's wasted. Cuts down on the messy side of it as well, to be honest. And then what we're doing is we're just going to add a little bit of our pigment fixer in places like so. There you go. Hope that's coming out okay for you to see. Bit laborious, bit of a time to do. What I'll do, let me zoom in, see if I can really get that popping for you so you can see exactly what I mean. But as you can see, that the surface texture is there. Takes, like I say, it takes a bit of time, but I'm happy with how that's coming out. So what we'll do is we'll just add a little bit more of our pigment picture. Just literally load up the brush, let the liquid do the work. Very gently touching the edge. You will get some pigment on your brush, so use an old brush, one you don't mind too much. But there you go. That's what we're going to do. I like how that's come out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that to one side to settle. And what we'll do is we'll go back through the process on our actual bits for the model. Bear with me a second while I do a little bit of housekeeping here. Because we've got pigments all over the place. Like so. Right, cool. Let's catch up with the chat, see where we're at. White Gloves Models is saying experiment is always fun, James. Oh, it is, certainly is. I do like a good experiment. Scale Model Ninja is there saying good morning. Morning, mate. How you doing? And the Budget Modeler is saying he's got the Fokker D1 and Red Baron on the bench. An Airfix 172nd Shackleton. AEW2. King Tiger. A Presenza. A MiG-29. A BMW convertible. Mini convertible. Bacon, sausage and egg. Stop that. You rotter. Okay, so we've done a little bit of experiment. Let's get on to the real thing, shall we? Let's give this a go. I'm just going to load up our piece here with some of the pigment fixture we're using. Like I said, it's just alcohol is what we're using. And come back out a little bit for you. Pigments all over the place, as you can see. A little bit of the grey pigment that we're going to use. And try and put it on our subject evenly. Just dabbing a little bit on as we go, like so. Move the grey out of the way. And come in with our dark rust colour. It's quite difficult doing this all in camera, but hey, who's moaning? Not me. Oh, there's a little bit too much on that, but that's all right. We can. That will soften down. So yeah, I've been a little bit quiet due to work and life the last few weeks, so I apologise. However, this month should be, I hope, a busy month for me. Got a lot going on, a few surprises in the pipeline. But I can't say much about them until they happen, so keep tuned, because there's some content coming up this month, hopefully, if all goes well, which will be, like I said, a bit of a surprise, something a little bit out of the ordinary, a little bit different. Well, that's the plan anyway. We started doing something with starting a new build as well. Well, a series of builds, in fact. So the idea, gone way too heavy on that. Thank you for that. So that's good, because it shows that I can make mistakes. What we'll do is use the other end, pull a little bit of that off, but we can adjust it. It's no big deal. What we're going to do is just get this fixed down. Yeah, so one of the things I'm going to be doing is I'm going to do a journey build. Now, the idea of that will be to show a modeler's journey. So not specifically mine, but a journey of a new modeler. So we're going to start with a few basics. Oh, I'm getting all heavy-handed. What's going on? Yeah, we're going to start with some basics, and then we're going to build ourselves up over a few months. I'm not super happy with it, the way this has come out, I've got to be honest, this one. But it's given me lots of texture, so I can always tone the texture, the actual colours down a little bit at a later stage. What I'm going to do is just going to go over it with a I just realised you're using the wrong lid. Using the wrong lid, James. Don't mix them. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually introduce a little bit of a lighter grey. It's still quite dark ash. Just want to see if that makes. It's going to do what I want it to do. Yeah. Oh. Again, sorry. It's really difficult when you're by yourself to know whether have you got it in camera shot, is it all working properly? Anyway, yeah, so that's coming soon. Builder's Journey. There'll be a new thing called Inside the Plastic, which I can't say anything about it at the moment, but that is coming. Obviously, we're going to finish our build here, and then we're going to go on to a new build, which will probably be a diorama, I think, but you have to wait and see. Right, so what we're going to do, I just want to try and ensure that I've got all this fixed. There's some large lumpy bits. So just remember, if you do catch some of the pigment, you know, you got a big lump on there, this is going to get onto your brush. You need to bear that in mind. So, there we go. What do you think? I think that's worked reasonably well, to be honest. Then what I want to do with our dark ash, I'm just going to bring some of that into the edge of our exhaust. Like so, and then what I'm going to do is a little bit of pigment pixer, run it down inside, just literally catch the edge. As I said, let the liquid do the job for you. So there you go. That will be our exhaust. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to go over it a little bit, push some stuff down, because it is texture's lovely, but it's a little bit too textured, maybe. A little bit too textured in places, but it gives me what I want. And again, I'm just going to come over it with a little bit more pixar. So if you want to see the pictures of this build and the progress, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an album on the Model Officer's Facebook page, which is a group, obviously. And this channel is to do with that group. And you can have a little bit closer look. Yeah, I'm fairly happy with that. I think that's worked relatively well. Tell me what you think in the comments. Talking of which, let's have a quick look at the comments, shall we? See where we're at. So Stefan just saying, I always shake my pigments jar. Everyone else have that problem? yeah, don't shake pigment jars. They go everywhere when you open them up. And could you please say that you are painting happy little clouds? Miranda says, you sound relaxing like Bob Ross. Oh, well, that's nice. There you go. You're painting happy little clouds. Mark at Edinburgh Modelling Man Case. Good morning all. Hi Mark, hope you're well. So White Glove Models is just saying hi to Mark. He's saying he's well. He's just working on multiple kits as usual. Yeah, wouldn't expect anything different, will be. So Mark's been mostly working on the Revell 124th 70 Plymouth GTX from Fast and Furious, aka Dom's car. Porsche's taken a back seat as I was getting frustrated with the windows on fitting. Right, yeah. I know you had a bit of frustration recently. What Glove Models is saying to Mark, you got to take advantage of the warmer weather while you can, indeed. What Glove Models also then says, I need some pigments for myself, James. I'd like how you're working out for you. It looks great. Thank you very much. Yeah, pigments are always a good thing to have in the arsenal. You get covered in it, so put old clothes on, etc. And make sure that you're suitably covered to stop yourself getting literally covered. That sort of made sense. It did in my head when I said it anyway. So yeah, we're going to do the second one. Just going to repeat the process, and we'll go from there. Quick slurp of coffee. I'm glad you're relaxing. The whole idea of today is, I just want to, the whole idea of this particular build was for you to join me while I was building, ask some questions as I went along, show some different bits and pieces that I was doing. But it's like a little bit of a hangout as such. And yeah, I suppose it's all about me. So yeah, said with a tongue in cheek, so to speak. But hey, there we go. Right, so let's start this process again. Got our nice primed piece. Come straight over with the grey. He says, realising he's now getting himself into a right tiz. I told you, you got to be careful with these pigments. You will get covered. Oh, he says. Yeah, I remember when I first got these pigments, because there's quite a lot of pigment in this particular company. One of the reasons why I liked this company, but like I say, I don't think it is anymore, which is a real shame. You would open them up, and they've got like a seal over the top. When you pop that seal, you all but get a cloud of pigment dust all over you before you even start. nearly spot the deliberate mistake. God blimey, that would have been interesting. Move the grey over there. And we'll go with our dark rust colour. Yeah, like I say, the whole idea of this stream was to literally be as relaxing as possible, and take my time, really. And while I was doing that, show you how I was achieving some of the things I was achieving. So I hope that's how it's come across. I hope that's working for you guys with watching. If there's anything I can do that might make it better, let me know. Always open to suggestions and thoughts. Because after all, yes, I'm doing this for myself. Of course I am. But the whole idea is that I hope that people gain a little bit of something from it. Whether it be a little bit of inspiration or maybe a different way of doing something you hadn't thought of before. That's the idea anyway. Put that there off one side. Bring in our black. Or our dark ash. So like I said, I've got a few projects in the making at the moment. Is there something that you want to watch? Is there something you want to see me do? Please don't say paper models, because I will only ignore the comment. Just in case any particular people are watching in the background there. Don't think he is actually. The old Lewis and that. I haven't seen them for a little while. Obviously with Steve being in the hospital at the moment. If you're watching, Steve, hope you're okay. Hope things start improving for you, buddy. Right, there we go. Yeah, I haven't seen Lewis and that for a while. I haven't spoken to him even, unfortunately. Now with her new job, Lewis looking after the children. Although, in fact, actually, I must ask him how he got on with his Lancaster flying. I've not seen a video, so I'm assuming he didn't video it. So it's a shame. I'm just going to go off camera a second while I add a little bit of this pigment. I'll get into this. Has what calmed down for you, Mark, a little bit now? Because I know you got a lot of stuff going on at work. There you go. That's the second one done. Give me some nice texture to it. What I'll do is I'll let them dry, and then what I may do is I may go back onto them a little bit and flatten them down a little bit. It might be just a little bit too pronounced on the texture. If I bring that right up. Yeah, I'm happy with that. They're looking good. Doing the ones on the engine are going to be very problematic, I think, if I'm honest. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a little tidy up. Like I say, one thing to remember with pigments: work clean, work tidy. You will get it everywhere. It's a little puff of smoke because I hadn't taken a bit off the lid. And I've managed, to be honest, to make a right mess, surprisingly. Now what I'll do with my pigment, my little buds here, sponge buds, is I put them into a plastic bag, and that way I know they're out of the way and clean. And then very gently we're going to just fold this over, because I'm going to do a bit more work with that later. Bear with me a second. Got to do some cleaning, otherwise that's going to go everywhere. Sorry. If I don't do this, I am literally going to get covered in pigment, which I'm not far off anyway. Right. So there you go. That is the pigment work on our exhaust. I'm just going to move that out of the way too. See what I mean? Now I'm just having a quick wash of my hands. You know, head over to the chat in a second. Clean hands. Okay, so where are we with the chat? Let's have a look. Mark saying that Helldiver is going to look amazing, James. Thank you very much, mate. It should do. White Glove Model says, what brand are those pigments again, James? This brand is Pinnacle Modeling Supplies, but unfortunately, like I said, I think they are no longer exist, unfortunately. However, if you want to get hold of some pigments, drop me a line. I may well be able to help you. Yeah, let me know. Oh yeah, he says you can now see them. Luke, Black Rifle Model says, en route to Warhammer game. Drive by thumbs up and catch up later. It's shaping up to be a phenomenal build, Mr. S. Thank you very much, mate. Have a lovely time at the war game thing. And I will at some point take you up on a lesson for the wargaming thing. I don't know why I said that. I do know why I said it, because I genuinely mean that. I'm not super interested, but I'd like to know what the fuss is about. Does that make sense? Yeah, I don't think it's something that would grab my attention and hold it, but yeah, I'd like to learn more. And Stefan just saying, hope you feel better soon, Lewis. Is that because he's looking after the children? Yeah. Yeah, have I missed Lewis in the chat? I haven't, have I? No, I haven't. Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, no. Steve, Mr. Benzabini, is in hospital, unfortunately. He's been there for a little while, and it looks like he's going to be there for a little while longer still. So, bit of a disaster for him, really. So, anyway, yeah, let's go back. So, what we've done is we've done our two little exhaust outlets. Now I've zoomed out. Let's zoom back in. So, as you can see, this one is dry. This one is drying, but you can see the texture quite well on there. They are uneven, but I'm not bothered by that because I want them to be. So the one thing I will do, obviously these ones are on the outside, so I sort of expect them to be a little bit corroded, attacked by the salt and all that sort of thing. So I'm happy with that. On the actual engine itself, what I probably will do, for two reasons. So if we look at the engine, now obviously you can see where the exhausts are. If I attack them in the same process that I've just done, where dropping lots of pigment, everything's going to get covered. So what I will do is I will use a brush. I will put some pigment fixer on there, and then what I probably will do is I will get a brush with a small amount of pigment on there, and I will just tease it on there gently. Like I say, the problem is that yeah, I should have done them before they went on, but they, to be honest, were a real pig to get on there. So I'll have to play with those and see how that goes. But I'm going to do that off camera. I'm not doing that now. Yes, I am a chicken, and to be honest, rightly so, because I don't want to ruin this engine. It's taken a lot of work, a lot of effort, and I'm super happy with it right now. So break it now would be dire. So yeah, so what we'll do is we'll probably use a multitude of old brushes. I've got loads of them, and I'll just brush them on and blend them slightly as we go, using the pigment fixer, like I said, as we go. And it will take a while. It will take quite a while to do. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that later. Well, that took a lot less time than I thought it would. I thought it would take a little bit longer than that, but there you go. We've been going for about an hour or so. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue these couple of bits in on the wing. But I've shown you what I wanted to show you. So, okay. So the question to you guys that are watching right now, I mean, obviously, if you're watching this back later on, put a comment in the messages. Sorry, put a comment on the video, and I'll be able to pick your thoughts up then as well. But obviously, we're coming to the point where we're going to be putting the main fuselage together, and all that sort of goodness. What do you want to see? What would you like to experience in a live stream? Is there a particular part of the build that you want to see going forward? Let me know. Obviously, once the fuselage is all together, it will be painted. Yes, we're going to do some weathering. I haven't quite decided quite what I'm going to do. It's got to be beaten up quite a bit, so there's going to be chipping involved. There's going to be all sorts of goodness like that. Do you want me to show you that, how I do that? Let me know. Or is there something else that you need or that you would like to take away from this? It will be going on a diorama base, so there will be a point where we'll be just doing an episode about the diorama. That's going to not be overly complicated to do, so that is planned for later on. And I think, if I'm honest, this is going to be maybe another 2 episodes, maybe 3 episodes. And the main reason for that is because I want to finish the build now. Doing it live has been great, but I'm not doing anything else in the meantime as such, so it's getting a little frustrating. So yeah, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you or live now. There's a few of you there watching. If there's anything, of course, that you would like to see, let me know. Also, if there is something you'd like me to do in the future, let me know, because then obviously that makes things a bit easier for me. Cool. So yeah, I'm just going to glue a couple of these bits and pieces on here, and literally just to see if there's any comments, and then we'll wrap it up for today, because I've shown you everything I wanted to show you. Yeah. So yeah, what we're going to do is we're just going to add these bits onto here. If I can remember the way in which they all go round. Yeah. And yeah, indeed, thank you for all the comments. Thank you for watching. Thank you for taking the time out of a Sunday to watch me ramble on about this build. So my thoughts on this particular kit, on this particular manufacturer, I got to be honest with you. I'm happy with the way things are going so far. The quality of fit and all those sorts of things, a little frustrated with, if I'm honest. I was expecting better. And if you're inspired to do this kit, yeah, do it. Don't not do it, but just beware. This is not for the faint-hearted, this kit, without a doubt, and not for a beginner. I'm not an expert, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely not for a beginner. There's too much fapping about you have to do. And to a point with the extras, because they have got some extras, and the extras are really good. But you know what? It feels almost to a point that some of the extras are because they know they've not done. They could have done better, basically, in the kit, and I think that's a shame, because it's a great subject. I certainly think it's a great subject anyway. It's one of my favourite aircraft. So Luke's just saying, you're welcome anytime, James. We could make a weekend of it. Throw a trip to Coxford into the mix. Beer and curry. Oh, do you know what? That's awesome. Yes, I will I will try and work something in. I'm not sure I can do that. I'm even debating whether I'm going to go to Telford this year, to be honest. Times are a bit hard, as you know, but yeah, no, I would love that. Really, really would love that. So if I can organise it this year, I certainly will. If not, it will definitely be after this year. Stefan says, sorry, Nat, of course. Yes, yeah, we have to feel sorry for Nat with Lewis. Lewis looking after the kids. White Gloves Monster said, we can add some pigments to my gecko ambulance order. Ooh. Yeah. Okay, mate. I will have a chat with you at some point. Yes. We'll see what we can do for you. Yes, that's coming soon as well, isn't it? The gecko ambulance, the K2. Oh, I can't wait to look at hold of the K2. One of my favorite vehicles. So yeah, looking forward to getting hold of that. What else is coming? Oh, I don't know if you'd seen as well. Gecko bought out a landing craft, 135th landing craft, British version. Looks awesome. Looks really, really awesome. Yeah, gonna try and get hold of a couple of those if I can. So there we go. Anyway, 12 people watching. I've been going for an hour or so. I'm not sure this is going to be overly interesting for you guys watching me just stick on a few bits. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to call this stream quits for now. You know, I don't want to. I'm happy to chat, but I don't want to. Yeah, I want to make it worthwhile for you. So let's just recap very quickly. We've done our 3 bits of pigment work. Bring the camera in. So we did our test piece, this piece here, as you can see. Trying to age and weather our exhaust. And then we've done our 2 pieces here. Nicely corroded and attacked by the elements, etc., etc. And all we've used is a different couple of bits and pieces. We've actually used, would you believe, 5 different color pigments. So we've used an exhaust black, we've used 2 colors of rust, a light and slightly darker, some industrial dust, and some dark ash to get that. So yeah, there we go. So there you go. I'm going to say I'm going to call it quits. I think we're at a good point there. Let me know, guys, what you want to see next in other streams. I'm guessing the next stream will be in a fortnight's time. However, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel because it may be next week. I don't know. It all depends on work and how that's all going. And I apologize for the inconsistency of it not being weekly, but I just can't do that at the moment. I can't promise it. So I am trying. White Gloves Models just says that's a great stream, James, and informative as always. Take care, everyone, and have a great rest of the weekend. Indeed, and that is a really good way of thanking you all being with me. And until next time, we'll see you soon. Ta-ra!